They are a piece of damn work, aren't they? Aren't these people a piece of work? See, let me tell you about these trolling, time wasting tactics that they get into, because you can't deal with what I'm saying intellectually. White supremacy ain't about intellectualism, it's about dominance. Let's get deep. This is a case study, perfect example of what I'm talking about. They start getting into all of this time wasting, babbling, that prevents accountability. See, talking about systematic white supremacy for real, that forces them to confront a system that they benefit from. They know they benefit from it. He knows that. He wouldn't be shit without systematic white supremacy, and he knows it. A black family, I want y'all to understand, none of these people, none, with a capital N, capital O, capital N, capital E, none of them are naive about white supremacy. They know good and well it happens and it's alive and well right now. They know this. The job now is for them to play dumb and then expect us to play dumb with them and try this denial game. That's why anytime they start talking about white supremacy, it's never a logical conversation. It's always babbling. You see? By trolling and deflecting, they avoid responsibility and just keep up surface level bullshit. And notice, just keep calm. Do what I do. I know what he's trying to do. That's why I don't follow his rabbit hole. I'm not about to start getting into all of his dumbass deflective nuances. No, no, no. We're gonna keep it grounded. Tell me where there's no more white supremacy. You full of shit, dude. Because see, they have to do all this trolling and time wasting. Remember, white supremacy is about control, and one thing they have to control are narratives. They hate the fact that we got large numbers in here every night, intellectually and calmly talking about systematic white supremacy. They don't like that, especially when there's a large audience listening. See, that's the thing. That's why they got to come in and try to derail all the time. They always got to come in and derail the conversation and try to steer it away from racism, and start talking about crime stats. And you know what their favorite one is. Well, you know what, Tarek? It's not white supremacy. It's the Jews, dude. It's the Jews. That's another deflective tactic. That's them trying to control the narrative. Also, all of that time wasting, babbling, being accusatory. You're full of shit. You sound like a white guy, dude. All of that is to basically exhaust and frustrate you. They try to mentally wear you down by wasting time. They just keep repeating. What do? They repeat bad faith questions over and over again, bad faith statements that's been debunked over and over again. They pretend to be confused. That's a fatigue tactic. That's supposed to just draw all your energy out. And no, 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 no. We handle it. We always stay in control of that. We don't follow their lead. We always bring things back to a center where we're dismantling white supremacy. That's why it's very important. This is a lesson here. I'm trying to show y'all some game on how to deal with these old erratic ass suspected white supremacists. Because another thing they do, all of that shit he's doing, notice what they do. They do this to perform for other white supremacists too. Many of these suspected white supremacists, they're trolling, not to learn. They're not trying to learn nothing. They're trying to also perform for other white supremacists who tune in. Notice when one calls up, y'all notice about 4 or 5 other ones start calling up too. Their little white supremacist buddies start calling up with that. We're gonna own the libs. Uh, yeah, we're gonna own the wokies. Yeah, so yeah, they look at any type of disruption If they can have us all chaotic, that's a victory. But the fact that we're not all chaotic, we don't let them come in here and spin the conversation out of control. That's why they get so mad. See, we get them frustrated. See, we reverse it on their asses. See what they like coming in rooms, and y'all better stop falling for this. They come in and say something stupid and then start that goofy trolling and denying white supremacy, and then black folks get to yelling and screaming. That, yeah, got those Sambos riled up, dude. They love getting you riled up. No, no, stay cool. Stay cool with it. Stay calm with it. Don't let them flip. Don't let them flip you with that bullshit. When they start doing all of that trolling and time wasting, that's a way for them to avoid historic truth. See, when he was up here talking about what white supremacy never existed, what are you talking about? When I start hitting him with historic, verifiable facts, oh, you're just full of shit, dude. He just went into more trolling. They can't really intellectualize white supremacy, family. That's the secret. That's what y'all need to understand. That's why it's very important that you stay up on top of your intellectual game and study how to counter that stuff so that you can frustrate them and make them crash out. You see? But the thing is, all of that derailing the conversation, they use that to also equate racism with randomness. They make it seem like racism is just like some isolated incidents that just happen to go down, rather than being a coordinated, well-maintained system. So don't let them play that. And they love pushing false equivalencies. Well, everybody's racist, dude. Well, I grew up in Detroit and there were blacks racist against me. And they know there were some people who called you names. There is no systematic racism coming from black people. We don't have a system in order to practice racism, sir. And somebody calling you a name ain't racism. Because all you got to do is just not listen or walk away from them. We deal with systematic racism. A black person is not determining where you're going to go to school or where your kids are going to go to school. They're not determining whether you're going to live or die on a medical table while giving birth. They don't decide what housing loan you're going to get as a white person. We don't control that. We don't control things in your everyday life as the white supremacists do with us. Not no, it's no equal equivalency whatsoever. And also, listen, with them running around doing all of that time wasting, that's another way to delay tangible solutions. See, that's the key right there. Because, see, when we're talking about replacing the system of white supremacy with justice, see, when you talk about something and you talk about a problem, you're going to have to talk about the solution. The solution is going to come to you naturally. If you talk about a problem intellectually, the solution is going to come up, and we already know the solution, the tangible benefits. So they don't want to talk about that. No, no, they don't want to talk about that intellectually because it's going to go back to some tangibles because that's where we are right now. So yeah, they have to keep restarting the conversation over and over, acting dumb, acting, asking these old elementary questions. Well, what is racism? That's a stall tactic, black family. When they come in playing dumb and what racism did where's some white supremacy? Is it in my house? I don't see any white supremacy here. That's a stalling tactic, family. That's stalling. You see, that's the block policy change. They just want to keep the status quo and maintain it. So that's what all that trolling is for. And acting dumb. They're not dumb. I remember I had the white woman call up the other day. Yeah, I want to be an ally. Can you teach me? I've been all my life. I just love everybody. I don't know. Or racism? I don't know where it is. Where's the white supremacy? I don't know. But I'm here to learn if you can teach me. They play that game, and then I asked the woman where she lives. She said Reno, and I'm like, well, there's a sundown town right in near Reno where they are threatening to lynch black people now. Oh, yeah, I know about that place. Okay, well, damn it. You know about white supremacy, ma'am. Come on, why you in here acting dumb? Yeah? But see, yeah, all of that trolling, that's to gaslight and discredit black voices. See, they come in and try to troll to make us angry and hostile. And once we start reacting, they're like, oh God, listen, I came in here to talk. Now you blacks are you're cursing me out. You're calling me a dirty hunky and you're calling me a musty cracker. God, you're the real racist. See? Racism is from both sides. They try to play that game. They try to gaslight you so that they can flip and act like victims. So we ain't going for that. We're not going for that whatsoever. We got to stay on our square. Learn how to stay on your square, family, and not let these people draw you into their bullshit conversations. But we got a lot of people in here. Shout out to everybody in here. But there was something else that he said that I wanted y'all. Did y'all peep what he said? He said something very interesting, which is what a lot of suspected white supremacists say. You notice when he said, listen, Tariq, you're doing great. You look successful. So why don't you just chill? Did y'all catch that part? Now that's pivotal right there. That's pivotal right there. I want y'all to understand where he was coming from when he said that. I did y'all catch that? I hope y'all didn't miss that part because that's the thing. The white supremacists, when they see a black person who's doing financially well, if you can call it that, or if we're just not completely downtrodden and living in poverty and living from check to check, they think we're supposed to be grateful to them for them allowing us to be successful. That's white supremacy right there. He knows that. He knows that the white supremacists can shut down our money and resources anytime, which they can. Yes, they can. Look at what they do to Diddy. Look at what they do to R. Kelly. Look at what they do to Bill Cosby. Yeah, they can shut off your money supply. We know that. That's called white supremacy. So it's like, yeah, we're allowing you to be successful. So why don't you just not rock the boat, dude? No, no, no. See, a lot of the white supremacists, they falsely believe that if a black person has a little paper, a little successful, that they shouldn't act like they're affected by racism. No, racism operates regardless of income. Yeah, I'm not playing that game. I'm not playing that game. It don't matter. The white supremacists don't care about how much money you get. Black folks never forget that. Don't ever think that your money is going to insulate you from these white supremacists. Ask Diddy how that worked. They get all of the big money black folks. They bring them right back down to size. That's why I'm not playing that game. I'm not going to sit here and deny racism because a little money is being made. No, they can flip that anytime. Oh, no, no, no. And see, when a successful black person speaks on racism, it forces the white listeners to confront systematic inequality, you see, and framing black success as proof that racism is over. They try to absolve themselves from past injustices. No, I got a little something going on because I'm very talented, as many other black people are. And I just kind of knew how to navigate through the system a little bit better. And I'm phenomenal, just like many foundational black Americans, in spite of the system of white supremacy. That's not because there is no system, in spite of it. And I just chose not to ignore it. I never chose to ignore it. Yeah. They think that the white supremacists, they try to think that racism only affects the poor. See, there's a widespread myth that racism is tied only to poverty or criminality. So when an affluent black person speaks out, it shatters that myth. See, they don't like people like me. That's why I'm such a problem. Because truth be told, let's be real. Most black people, when they get a couple of dollars in their pocket, they do shut the up. You see, that's why he said that. Y'all understand? That he knows. Let's be real. Yeah, when some black folks get a little something, they get a little change in their pocket. They stay quiet. It wasn't racism. I mean, I don't know now. Them eyes get to bucking, so they don't like the fact that I got a couple of dollars in my pocket and I ain't shutting the up. Yeah, racism is still here, and I don't like it, and I want justice for all black people. I'm standing on it like that. So when you have that kind of influence and you speaking like that, they don't like that. They're like, "Hey, how come this Negro ain't buck dancing?"